Thank you. Thank you very much to you. Dear friends, I thank all of you, to each and every one of you. I thank you for coming here tonight, together with our outstanding team sitting here on the stage, and the mayors, and the heads of the local branches, and the activists, and the citizens who've come from across the country, including from the South, people who stood with bravery in last months, in the last week. My dear friends, we are here as a single person, and tomorrow we'll meet in the Knesset with all the factions, all of them. Because we understand that we must enter emergency action facing an emergency situation. We are in a fateful moment for the state of Israel. The leaders of blue and white, Benny Gantz, Gabi Ashkenazi, no, don't boo, listen. The leaders of blue and white, Gantz, Ashkenazi, and Bogi Ya'alon have decided to form a minority government that will be dependent on the members of the joint Arab list. When I say Arab, I'm not talking about the Arabs. Arabs can be Zionists and support the state of Israel, but they are not Zionists. They do not support the state of Israel. And to be dependent on them at every time, but especially at a time like this, is an enormous danger to the state of Israel. It is a crisis point in the history of our country, a crisis point the likes of which has never been. The members of Knesset, of the joint list, support terrorist organizations. They call IDF soldiers murderers. You have to understand this. They want, even today, right now, to put IDF soldiers on trial as war criminals. Benny Gantz, I'm telling you. Benny Gantz, I'm telling you. Benny Gantz, I want to speak to you, and I want to make it clear to you that they want to put you on trial as a war criminal. By the way, same with Gabi Ashkenazi and Bogi Ya'alon. They want to put them on trial as war criminals as well. And it's with them that you are going to form a government that will be dependent on them? What is going on in your heads? More than that, Benny, you and Gabi received ongoing briefings over the course of the last week about the security situation, about the developments. You got everything. You knew exactly what is on the line. And nevertheless, while we were in a military campaign, while we were being attacked by rockets, while our citizens were sitting in their rocket shelters, while our soldiers were endangering their lives, at that exact time, you are conducting negotiations with the same members of Knesset who support the terrorist organizations. The same members of Knesset who support the terrorist organizations and want to annihilate our country. I say so honestly. This isn't political, it's above politics. It's absurd. It's inconceivable. And it's a slap in the cheek of the citizens of Israel, soldiers of Israel. And Benny Gantz, it's a slap in the cheek for people who voted for you. It's not only a serious injury to Israeli security, it's also a serious injury to Israeli democracy. Because what did you promise? What is democracy? You say democracy, integrity of elections, and morality, that's what you say. So what was your central election promise, Benny, Gabi, Boogie, Yair? It was this: Israel above all. And now the truth is coming to light. Not Israel before all, but power before all. We warned. My colleagues here and I, maybe you too, during the elections we warned that they're going to form a blocking bloc for a minority government with the joint list. And they always denied it. Here's what Benny Gantz said. Let's put this up.
של ערביי ישראל מדברת כנגד מדינת ישראל, ולכן אני לא יכול לעשות איתם שיח פוליטי, כי הם מדברים נגד המדינה. שמעתי גם את הדיבורים על גוש חוסם, אני רוצה להוריד את הדבר הזה מן השולחן.
יאיר לפיד. יאיר לפיד. יאיר לפיד. יאיר לפיד. Even said this. He said, it's always interesting to follow how Bibi invents lies and then promotes it with all his strength without hesitation. So here is the truth. Blue and white will not form a blocking bloc with the Arab parties. No ifs, no buts. Shall not, and that's it.
So
I want to ask Benny Gantz and Yair Lapid, what's changed? Because you're negotiating with them. You're forming a bloc with them now. You're forming a government with them now. That is, you misled your voters. You led them astray. And yet you still talk about democracy, about integrity. It's inconceivable. It's simply inconceivable. It's inconceivable in democracy. It's impossible. Now I want to tell you another thing, my friends. Elections are a bad thing for the state of Israel. We do not want elections. And there is something much worse, and that's a dangerous minority government that depends on Aymen Odeh and Ahmad Tibi. Such a government is an existential threat to the state of Israel. Yesterday, I stood in my office. I voted and I said I pointed and I said there's a red phone here. I said, imagine this happens almost every night. The phone rings and someone says, imagine a situation, the Prime Minister gets a phone call Prime Minister, you need to make an immediate... We need immediately to attack 2 targets. And then the Prime Minister in such a minority government says, just a minute, I need to pick up the phone. He says, picks up the phone, he says, Mr. Odeh, listen, 2 targets, is that okay? No, 1, is that okay? No, maybe nothing. But you promise you won't break apart my government? Does Dr. Tibi promise the same? You're laughing. You're laughing. It sounds like a parody to you. I've heard people say, wait a minute, you're exaggerating. I'm exaggerating? No, I'm not exaggerating. Because Ahmad Tibi, listen well to what Ahmad Tibi said. Ahmad Tibi said 2 days ago, 3 days. You look it up. He said, if a minority government is formed, this operation would not have happened. But that's exactly what's going to happen here. And it can happen by Wednesday. It can even happen after Wednesday. Can anyone conceive of such a scenario? This is top-notch neglect. Now listen, no, they say it's okay. We're only talking about a transitional government. Just to get the Likud out of power, a transitional government for 3 months. I tell you, such a government must not be formed, not even for a single day, not even for a single moment. Listen. Listen, if you really want to understand why such a government must not be formed, listen to what Khamenei, the leader of Iran, says. What he said just the other day, he explained that he doesn't want to destroy all the Jews. He just wants to exterminate the state of Israel. But yesterday he said this. He said the elimination of the Zionist regime means that the Palestinians will choose their government and will get rid of people like Netanyahu. I tell you that we know who he doesn't support, right? I tell you that if such a minority government is formed, they'll celebrate in Tehran and Ramallah, and they'll celebrate in Gaza, just like they celebrate after every terror attack. But this would be a historic terror attack against the state of Israel, and it must not happen. So I call on the leaders of blue and white. There's an opportunity to form a government together. There is an opportunity to prevent elections. There is an opportunity to do the responsible thing. But first of all, you must do the responsible thing. You must find a sense of national responsibility. And so I call all of you at this moment, tonight, turn up and say clearly to the nation that you are taking off the table the delusional idea of a government that depends on the members of the Joint Arab List. Many in the nation understand the threat. What we need now is unity. Unity and not minority. And you know the truth. And you know the truth too. That truth is on our side, and justice is on our side, and the nation is on our side. Take this delusional idea right now, tonight. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you very much.
הדרך שלי, הליכוד, זה נכון. העתיד שלי, הביטחון שלי, הליכוד, זה נכון.
Interim Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu shaking hands with colleagues as the crowd cheers Bibi is the King of Israel. He welcomed supporters a few moments ago, including what he called the brave people of the South. He said the country is in a fateful moment, a crisis moment. The blue and white leaders are forming a minority government dependent on Arab parties, and he says it's a crisis point that will see Iran, Ramallah and Gaza celebrating if a minority government is formed. He called on the blue and white leadership to do the responsible thing. He said they must have a sense of national responsibility and take off the table their delusional idea of a minority government. Benjamin Netanyahu there on the podium waving at supporters in Tel Aviv.